Hi Gemini, welcome to your May 2018 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and happy birthday to those of you who are born at the end of May. Solar return, which is, it's always, nice to have a birthday month. My birthday is in December, so it's one of, it's Christmas season, so I would think it would be nice to have your birthday in May in the Northern Hemisphere, because everything is just coming to life. And especially this year, where, I'm looking out the window and it's like the trees are barren, it might as well be December. But, yeah. So, speaking of barren, wow, first three cards, major arcana cards. Pretty transitional, or transformational. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Okay. I'm just collecting the cards here. I think I'm going to pick a clarification card for that one, just because there are certain cards that don't seem like they are definitive for the last card, at least to me. Okay, let me look at this. Well, the first card I always pick is going to be the Heart of the Matter, and this is the Death card. And as people sometimes do, people sometimes are very simplistic about things, and they think, "Oh my God, death." Well, it's the end of an era. It's irrevocable change. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a very good thing. I've made friends with the Death card, and you should too. The Death card connects to Scorpio, by the way, in case that's somebody in your life. But the thing about the Death card is that it means that the old is dying out, the old ways. And that can be a relief if you're just done with something. And yet maybe you're thinking to yourself, when is this going to end? I can't seem to get away from some situation. I'm going to talk about the root cause, the Empress. This is a card that is associated with Taurus and Libra. It's connected to Venus. You see the Venus symbol right there. And I guess that's even a heart too, to kind of bring it home. The Empress is the energy of the mother, the earth mother, the creative person, the person who is like birthing something, birthing a project, birthing a creative endeavor, birthing a child. Okay, so we have the Death card, which is the opposite of life, and then we have this Empress card, which is all about life. They couldn't be more. So the Empress card is informing the Death card. That's what this means. It's the reason the Death card is existing. Now, here's just one possibility. You are somebody who finds out you're pregnant, and so if you had a history of partying, you say, well, that life is over with now. I'm not going to be drinking. I'm not going to be doing anything, smoking. My child is going to have... I'm not even going to drink coffee because I want to make sure I have a healthy child, and I'm going to stay home at night. I'm not going to be going out to nightclubs. I'm going to be going to bed early. So it's like you find out you're pregnant and you change your whole life. So the death would be the end of that lifestyle. Another, let me talk about what was the challenge, because that could that definitely figures into this. The Lover's card, this is your card, Gemini. I mean, you know, the Death card could be that you're pregnant, but your relationship is over with, obviously. And by the way, I think it was somebody who was a Gemini said about a recent video that I did, and they said it was a negative reading. And never do I intend to look at life from a negative perspective. Okay? Anything, even here, if you're, let's say you were pregnant and yet your relationship ended, that doesn't mean that your life isn't going to be like massively better. Okay? The more that people have this belief that everything is for the best, the better off they can be, because the Death card doesn't have to be somebody dying physically. It can be that a relationship is really over. With the Empress, though, informing that death, it could simply be that you are realizing that a relationship that you were in is not healthy, and you put the end to it. And so it's a card, it could be that you are self-empowered. Okay? The Empress doesn't mean that you're pregnant. It means that you could be in love with somebody and yet realize, maybe you realize that they are not the right one for you. And so it's almost like having love for yourself. The Empress is the lover. You know, we have the lovers because it involves the other person. But with the Empress, it could be merely loving yourself enough to end a bad relationship. Another thing, too, is that there may be some of you who want to do something creatively, as evidenced by the Empress card. So you are planning on leaving your job, but you can't fully make up your mind, because the Lover's card could be having to make a choice. The Ace of Cups is the higher message. This is a card that, again, could be associated with news of a birth, or an impending birth, or pregnancy, in other words. This can be that you're presented with love. Maybe it is a water sign person. Maybe they do have Scorpio in their chart, and that's the Lover's card could be that you were having a hard time choosing between a water sign and some other person, maybe a fellow Gemini even, but they would be saying that this is the person who is more of a soul level relationship. I would say out of the 3 water signs that Pisces is probably the one that a Gemini person gravitates to the most, but anything is possible, of course. And then we have here advice on the mundane level, and this is Page of Pentacles. This is about a message that is tangible. You may, I was thinking too, some of you may get some kind of a job offer that involves creativity. And this may be something that's fulfilling to you because you're looking for something where you can be creative. Maybe you were in a job that was very dry, like working in a bank or something like that, and you just have been looking. It's not even that you're trying to have a career that is so, I don't know, associated with being this amazing artist, but you just want to be able to have some creativity and maybe even some say over what you do. And it feels like you're always just implementing other people's ideas and that you can't contribute your own, and now you have some kind of an offer that is more along the lines and even like a contract. The Page of Pentacles can be any kind of message or writing or communication that involves practical matters. So that could be kind of solidifying a new job, so to speak, or something along those lines. If there was some kind of a relationship issue and you felt that the other party was not really emotionally connected to you, then the Ace of Cups is that there's a new relationship with somebody who you do feel that sense of connection. What's coming in is represented by the Six of Wands, and this is a card of career success, career recognition, feeling like you are valued. That might be another thing in the workplace. The Death card might have been like the last straw, where somebody, like a boss, did not choose you for a promotion, and you felt like you had really done everything that you could to get it, and you said, okay, that's the final straw. I'm not going to even think about this anymore. I'm not going to, devote my time to this, because obviously this person doesn't have the same respect for me that I thought that they did. I really thought that they had that kind of respect for me, and it looks like they didn't, so oh well. And it's almost like you close down, and it's like that's it. It was like you might have been on the fence, and the Lover's card might have been like you being on the fence about something, and then they did something that just finally, sealed the deal. And then here we have, with the Six of Wands, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of recognition, which every person wants. I don't care what it is that you're doing. You could be bagging groceries. It doesn't matter. You want to feel like people respect your efforts. And I think the Six of Wands connects with Leo, so that could be somebody in the picture. But with Leo, there's a sense of pride, right? So in the workplace, for instance, feeling that another person, especially your boss, obviously, looks kindly upon you, sees you as a worthwhile member of the team, and verbally shows that, or maybe through monetary means. The Page of Pentacles can even be receiving some of money. It is connected with the student too, so I just wanted to add that. So anybody who's going to school, maybe getting financial aid for their studies. The outcome is the Seven of Wands. I did get a couple of cards. I did pick an additional card. The Seven of Wands is another fire energy. It's really about standing your ground and defending your sense of honor, and I guess you would put it. In personal relationships, if you are still with somebody that perhaps you're thinking of leaving, it's like you're not going to put up with it anymore, with their nonsense. If you're still in that job and all these other cards are future cards, then you're not going to put up with their nonsense. You're going to kind of show them where you're at, so that they know exactly, what the line is that they can't cross. It's kind of like having boundaries, but that's actually the Nine of Wands. This is more about defending yourself from the negativity of other people. But then we get the Judgment card. So this is the card of rebirth. I got this for the sign I just did, for Taurus as well. And this is a card that's connected to the concept of karma, but really, people misunderstand that, I feel, a lot of times. Really, the basic takeaway from this with the Judgment card is we sow what we reap. Or we reap, I say that backwards. We reap what we sow. And, given the fact that it's spring in the Northern Hemisphere and that we're sowing seeds literally in the physical sense, waiting for a harvest in the summer, metaphorically, spiritually, energetically, the same thing occurs, is that there's a cause and there's effect. You know, the actions that you take, and this is in relationships, this is on both sides. If somebody enters a relationship with somebody who is treating them poorly, and the Seven of Wands, if somebody is always making you feel defensive, like you have to explain yourself, you have to defend yourself and against their criticisms, then you know you're not in the right place. On some level, you have to know that. And it becomes on you, incumbent upon you, to be the one, because nobody else is going to defend you but you. And really, you shouldn't be in a position of defensiveness in a relationship, any kind of relationship, even a workplace situation. I remember working at a place, and I worked there a few years, and when I had to deal with the nonsense for several years before I quit. But I remember several employees, quitting within a day or a week, very quickly after starting working there, because they could see that something was not quite right. And the thing is, when you know that something isn't right, quitting right away, like walking away from a job or walking away from relationships right away, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, that you're like a snowflake, or that you're just thin-skinned or something like that. It means that you know that your energy is valuable and you want to invest it. That's why we invest energy, because it's like a commodity. It's something, it's not just nothing. It matters. And it has future results. They're seeds that we're planting. So investing it in a thing that will give viable returns. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about with the Judgment card. For some people, they may be seeking legal recourse, maybe like some kind of workplace lawsuit, or whatever you call it when you deal with the Human Resources Department, a complaint, or if you're getting divorce proceedings, maybe you've been kind of holding off, and that was what the Lover's card was. You weren't sure if you're going to do it, but you really, it's all over but the shouting. Okay. But there's new stuff happening. There's new love, or new what I would call sincere, heartfelt connection, either to work or to love. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed this, Gemini. And if you'd like a private reading, the link to my site is below. Take care. Bye.